What's up, guys? Kevin here to bring you a new video today, where I wanted to talk about someone who I have some pretty strong feelings about, I guess mixed feelings about, as an artist, Madonna. I'm actually currently on vacation right now in Colorado, so that's why you see a different setting here. But I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, so I really just wanted to make a video out of it right now while I had some time. Madonna. Um, yeah, someone who I greatly appreciate as an artist, but also have been greatly disappointed in as an artist, to be honest with you. Um, I respect her for a lot of things, and think she has put out some great music, and I admire her in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, like, especially recently, I do not like her um, for certain reasons that I will get into, but especially as of recently, I really don't have more like discontent. I have like more discontent for her now, but I'll get into that. Let's talk about her music though. So, to start off, Madonna moved to New York City to start her career in music and met this guy named Stephen Bray, who she started recording music with. That's not entirely how her music started, but she basically started off as a dancer. She liked to dance at clubs for fun, and then eventually she got into singing at clubs, and then that translated towards working with this guy named Stephen Bray to make some music. Um, that's kind of like a shortened version of it, but yeah, they wrote some songs together, and Stephen helped to produce Madonna's first album, which kind of got her on the map somewhat. And then she was helped by other producers and so on. But that's how her career started. Anyways, the reason why I mention this is because there was actually a album that was put out called Pre Madonna, which actually has some songs that Madonna recorded that where some of them didn't actually make it onto her first album. Some of them were like demo tracks or just like tracks that never quite, got onto that full album ever. Um, and I really love that album a lot. Even though it's just like a set of like demo tracks and all like two of the tracks like repeat like three different times and then like there's like four other tracks as well like individually, but like there's a good mix of tracks on there that I really like. Ain't No Big Deal is a really underrated song by Madonna. It's really hype. I like the extended version. There's different versions on YouTube, but I like the extended version the best. But there's like a newer version of it, but it's an amazing song. I think it's so underrated. I wish it was on the first album, but sadly it's not. But nonetheless, it's an amazing album that um, showcases um, kind of how she got to where she was with releasing this first album, which is one of my favorite albums of hers. And it's crazy to think this for an artist, and it's sad because Madonna doesn't believe that this is a good album, but her first album is like by far one of my favorites. It's just called Madonna. It's definitely one of the best albums. I don't know if it is the best album by her, but it's one of the best. Um, it's it's like people say it's like really poppy and just simple, and there's not much like intellectual aspects of it. Like, but you know what? I say screw it. Like, it's just an amazing album. It's fun to listen to. It's just so enjoyable and so amazing. Holiday is on that album, and that honestly is my favorite Madonna song. I feel like that will never change. I don't think. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say so. Um, the thing is, Holiday has changed over time as a song for like radio airplay and like the greatest hits album. But the version that's on this album is definitely the best album. With like, it has like an extended like piano solo, and it's just awesome. And then like other tracks that go along with it really well. Um, I just feel like they all mesh together pretty well. Um, yeah, Lucky Star is an amazing opening track for it. I do feel like Borderline is kind of overrated. That's just me. I think it's a good song, but everyone hypes it up to be like one of the best Madonna songs ever. But I'm just like, yeah, is it though? I'm just like, it's a good song. Is it? It's not that amazing though. I don't know. Like it's borderline. Like, eh. But yeah, an amazing album nonetheless. I love the album. I have two copies of it. That's how much I love it. Um, but the next album, Like a Virgin, arguably Madonna's best album, just because the tracks on it, I feel like just go together better with the album, and I like the side tracks better than some of the side tracks on the first album, like Think of Me and Physical Attraction. I mean, those are good songs, don't get me wrong, but like the side tracks in this album that like aren't like singles are actually like really really good. Like Stay, Pretender, Shooby Doo, Over and Over. They're all great tracks. I feel like that whole album is just it's just a very it's such a good cohesive album that has like consistency across the board. I feel like I do feel like a Virgin is kind of an overrated song actually as well. But I love Material Girl, and my one of my favorite songs ever on that album, Dress You Up, is amazing. I love that song so much. That's like one of the later tracks in the album actually. But yeah, it's great. And then we have True Blue. Um, like a Virgin was a little bit more like I guess like sexualized, but I mean this one was trying to be like I feel like it was still kind of sexualized, but it was trying to be more like intellectual. I feel like I think it did a good job though. It has some great meanings to its songs. As do these other albums. I mean, these other albums, their songs are more like simplified meanings about like relationships and stuff. But I think this album is still good with that. Like Papa Don't Preach is about like getting pregnant and like not wanting to give up your child, even though like someone wants you to, I guess. But yeah, like that's just like a cool meaning. That's just like one of the meanings I know. But I mean, it's a very upbeat album. Also, like Where's the Party is a very fun upbeat song. Like they're all very like fun to listen to songs. I mean, Live to Tell. I mean, is not exactly like a fun song. It is kind of like a change of pace from that, which I think is cool. But overall, it's a great, very complex album. It's kind of like right around that same territory of Madonna, the debut album, but I don't think it quite reaches the ranks of Like a Virgin. But it's up there. But yeah, I really dig it. I really dig it. It's hard to rank these. I'm not gonna like give like a whole ranking, but yeah, Like a Virgin is pretty great. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah. But yeah, and then we have Like a Prayer. Um, everyone, all the, like mainstream media, like big critics, always hail this as Madonna's greatest album. I'm just like, stop. It's not. It's not her greatest album. Stop with that. Like, yes, it has like some really like strong intellectual pieces, that are really meaningful, um, and the lyrical content is very robust, I would say, as far as all the different tracks that are on that album. But is it the best Madonna album ever? No way. No way. Just because it has Like a Prayer on it, don't even go there with me. Like a Prayer is an amazing song. Is it the best Madonna song? No, not at all. I think it's maybe top five. Mm, that's actually that's a strong statement. Actually, I'd say more like top 10. Um, oh, maybe I should do another video about that. Maybe I'll think of my top 10 favorite Madonna songs. But yeah, like a Prayer is a good album. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad album, but it's definitely not the best Madonna album. Like I always read about like the history of Madonna, and like it was always like, Oh, like a prayer. This was hailed to be Madonna's best album ever. I'm like, stop. But like, it's a good album. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Oh Father. Listen to Oh Father. It's actually such a powerful song, especially if you know the meaning. I feel like if you get the meanings to all these songs, it is pretty cool. But I'm a person where like meaning isn't everything. Like your song should also have like a good beat to it. But I mean, meaning definitely helps with it. But meaning isn't everything. Um, there's a song called Love Song that features Prince, which I do not like at all. I just I like some Prince, not a lot of Prince though. And I don't like Prince on this. I don't like the tone of it, the tone of Love Song. But oh yeah, Oh Father is amazing. Pray for Spanish Eyes is amazing too. Cherish is amazing. Express Yourself is a decent song. Obviously, Like a Prayer is good, but yeah, there's definitely some good tracks mixed in there. But yeah, it's definitely not the greatest album ever. But yeah, then you have Erotica, which is a very controversial album that Madonna put out. Excuse me, and yeah, it was a groundbreaking, very divisive album for a lot of fans of Madonna. Since it came out right after Like a Prayer, which I guess was already considered somewhat controversial, like with the music video for Like a Prayer. But like, yeah, this was controversial because it was the whole album was basically about sex, and she put out a book. It was called a coffee table book. It was literally just pictures of her posing naked with people, with guys doing like BDSM things and like different devices and going in different positions and all sorts of things. Like just it was just like a giant sexual book that she put out with the album. And the album itself is, I would say, very sexual. I can't remember like each song individually, but like I've I've like listened to the album enough to where like I can kind of identify what each song means a little bit. Did You Do It is a great song, by the way, even though it's kind of a messed up song. But yeah, I love Did You Do It. That's such a great song. There's some great tracks on that album. Like I hate how people just suddenly disregard the material just because like it has some like bad dark meanings to it, and it's not even really like the intention of the songs are bad. It's just that they push the envelope on more like taboo subjects that people wouldn't necessarily like talk about in songs, which I think I commended Madonna for that. I commend her for that, for being ballsy enough to put out this record because it really talks just about sex. That's it. Just with like different relationships she's gone through, and you know like at one point like there's a video where she literally compares female genitalia to Kentucky Fried Chicken, like eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, it gets pretty wacky, but it's a good album nonetheless. Hey, it's a good album. Don't knock it till you try it. It's a fun album to listen to. I enjoy it. Nonetheless, it's a solid album, I would say. And after that, it that the uproar, the backlash that erotica caused, that caused issues with Madonna's career somewhat because she put out bedtime stories, which was it was basically like her responding saying, "Yeah, I know that album was a little bit too inappropriate for you guys, so I'm gonna give you this way more appropriate album, Bedtime Stories." It was basically like her saying, "Okay, yeah, here's a more, tame album, Bedtime Stories." Of course, like it's about relationships somewhat, but like it's not nearly as like dark Oh, I don't know. Would you even call erotica dark? I guess it's just not as like sexual. It's just not as like sexual, and you know, it doesn't like have like any taboo topics in it really. Um, I don't really have that many memorable tracks from that album, to be honest with you, that I can even really name. I just that album is kind of like a blur. To me, it is a good album, but I'm not like a huge fan of it actually. I don't know. Like I like erotica better than bedtime stories. Like Secret is a good track. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like, yeah, that album. It's a good album. It's not a bad album. I'd say it's a good album, but it just doesn't feel very memorable to me. Is all. But the next album we have is Music. Now this album I feel like kind of redeemed Madonna a lot. And hopefully I'm not wrong in this. I think Music came before Ray of Light, but let's hope I'm not wrong. Because I get those mixed up for some reason. Music was, I think, some great redemption for Madonna, um, for certain reasons. Just because, like, the album, like, I feel like it found its own tone with it being sort of like almost like a country influenced album, somewhat, but not really. Like, almost like country pop. And it kind of found its own unique sound with, like, Don't Tell Me, Nobody's Perfect, Music, um, a cover of American Pie, and there's a bunch of different ones that are just they all just kind of meld together pretty well. I'd say Music is a really hype track that I'm sure if you looked it up, you'd be like, oh yeah, I recognize that. Yeah, I used to hear that. Like that's Madonna, and like it's a hype track. Really fun to listen to. Like I used to always hear it like as a kid, like 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 parties or whatever. Like it's just like one of those tracks that you hear at like a party. It's just fun. Yeah, Music is great. Um, I don't really have anything that bad to say about it. It's not an amazing album, but there are some great tracks in there. I will say, some great tracks. And then we have Ray of Light. Um, Ray of Light, is a pretty good Madonna album. I'd say it kind of marked like a change of um, like creative flow for Madonna, for music. It was kind of something a lot different from music, I feel like, which was nice. I feel like that was a good move, going with Ray of Light, because it was definitely a shift. This album is a lot more dark, I would say, a little bit more dark, yeah, more emotional. Just I'd say like just it just felt like a total opposite from music, to be honest. But like more emotional, like with like the song meanings and like just like the overall tone of the songs. Like Frozen is a fantastic song. It's not exactly like a happy song, but it's a great song. And like Power of Goodbye is a great closing track. Skin, I think, is one of the tracks. Then Swim is also a track. Um, Ray of Light, that's the title track. It's the first track on the album, I think. Shit, I should know Madonna better. But yeah, Ray of Light is an amazing track. I've listened to that quite a few times. But yeah, I've listened to all these albums a good amount, I'd say. But yeah, it's it's been a while since I've really listened to certain ones of these albums, I'd say. So sorry if I don't have like the best memory of them. But yeah, then we have I would say the worst Madonna album, and I'm happy to say it's the worst because even the ones she's putting out now still aren't worse than this, which is good because this one is terrible. It's called American Life. It definitely, once again, Madonna was trying to do something different, I feel like, and she kind of just, I feel like, lost her footing on this one and just got really out of whack. And this is the one album that I would say, you know, has some tracks on it that aren't that enjoyable. But, I will say it is Madonna, and I can't say that the tracks, like, I can't tolerate listen to them. Like I can listen to them. I am okay with them. I'm not like hatred towards them. I'm kind of just like in the middle. I'm kind of. And that's going to conclude part one of this video series. This is a really long video, so I'm deciding to split this into two parts. Hope you guys have enjoyed this first part. Stay tuned for the next one.